Alright, match 1 with Stompy. One land, that's not generally a game ender. Plenty of good one-landers. Crane Ranger also makes one-landers a lot easier to keep. I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand. 3 creatures is also plenty. 3 pump spells. Opponent mulligans to 6, puts a card on top. We're going to lead with the Nettle Sentinel. While it's nice to trade off a Young Wolf early with something small, there's generally not that many 1 toughness things to trade it off with. I'd rather start getting in for 2 damage as early as possible. Alright, play our Crane Ranger. Bounce the Forest, so we're playing Quirion for free effectively. Play our last creature out, and then hope these pump spells can get there. We have 1 of each. No mutagenic growth in hand, but 1 of all of our other buffs. Delver of Secrets, okay. And pass the turn, not making their 2nd land drop. Ouch. Alright, let's start with the Rancor. Let's put it on Quirion Ranger. And attack. Could also put it on Young Wolf if they really want to soak up as much damage as possible and slow us down. They might try to get the Young Wolf off the table by blocking, which means I get my 2/2 version of Young Wolf. But I think that Quirion Ranger spreading out the value there is a little bit better. I also made a mistake by not untapping one of these forests, but hopefully I won't need multiple spells on my opponent's turn. Should have also untapped my Nettle Sentinel. Yeah, that was me not paying attention because I was so far ahead. Hit us for what? Alright. Well, here I'm going to blow out my opponent, and I apologize to them in advance. What do I want to pump here? How about let's pump the Quirion Ranger. We're going to untap our Nettle Sentinel at instant speed. What's funny is we could also untap it just by using the Quirion Ranger activation, like returning a forest to hand. So they'd be attacking a 1/1 into a 2/2 either way. But here we can do it without even having to return our forest yet. Looks like our opponent's probably on Izzet Blitz, Swiftwater Cliffs, and Delver of Secrets. 2/2 jumps in front of the 1/1. Quirion Ranger also re-triggers landfall for groundswell whenever you need it to, which is nice. Alright, and our opponent concedes. So against Izzet Blitz, Epic Confrontation can be good. It's nice to have some interaction and actually get their Kiln Fiends and Delvers off the table. All we need is 1/1 to kill a 1/2 Kiln Fiend as long as they don't have any interaction, so... they often do have interaction, or at least a way to pump the power, so you have to try to do this right after they drop the Kiln Fiend, but I think it's still worth it. Tangle could also be a consideration. Unfortunately, that involves mana on their turn, and they could easily have a Dispel or a Counterspell. Whatever version of counter magic they're running, it varies a little bit for Izzet Blitz. So what am I going to take out? Shine-In is pretty slow. 2 more choices. What is bad against Izzet Blitz? Basically nothing. Mutagenic growth, maybe? It's nice being able to save our creatures when we're tapped out, but 2 life is a lot against them, maybe? Silhana is a little bit slower. What else? Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put these back in, and I think I'm gonna cut 2 Rancor. They can be a little bit bad against Nimbic Cyclops, since it makes our 1/1s 3/1s and they still can't attack in. So I think that Rancor is a little bit worse than Mutagenic. Or at least it's better to have a 2/2 split of Rancor and Mutagenic than it is to have all 4 Rancor. Alright, 4 creatures, 1 pump spell on the draw. This is fine. Opponent mulligan again, put a card on bottom. They most likely have a Lightning Bolt up. If they kept a hand and passed with a untapped land, which makes me want to lead with Young Wolf. However, Nettle Sentinel is best if they don't have a removal spell right now. So I think I'm going to play it a little bit greedy and go with the Nettle Sentinel. Alright, and they do bolt it down. Young Wolf's not that much of a clock anyway, so even if they did have a lightning bolt, they could have waited till the turn after when I played Nettle Sentinel to use it. Alright, missing their second land drop, unfortunately for them. Play a Vault Scourge. Drew the Mutagenic, unfortunately a turn late. We could have used it to save that Nettle Sentinel last turn. Sometimes you have to think about whether or not you need to keep your lands in hand to trigger Groundfell later. For now, I think I'm going to go ahead and play my land, because if I want to save one of these from a lightning bolt, such as the Vault Scourge, I'd rather Groundswell with landfall than without, since that can actually save it. For example, here's a lightning bolt. Here's +4/+4. And we're going to gain 5. Skargan has Bloodthirst, and we pass with 5 power, so they're on a 3-turn clock. Finally hit their second land on turn 4, probably a Kiln Fiend coming down. Yep, there we go. Definitely attacking into this with the Young Wolves. Save my land so I can pretend it's a spell and also trigger landfall later. I might want to stay back with maybe one Young Wolf, so I can turn it into a 2/2 if they attack. Yeah, I think that's best. Just racing them if they have like a cantrip and one removal spell isn't a great prospect for us. I'd rather be able to chump block this Kiln Fiend once or twice. And even if they remove the Young Wolf, they technically have to remove it twice because of the Undying trigger. And it's probably not worth it to them to invest all that just to remove this when I have another one. So that means they have to start using their unblockability spells sooner than later, such as Apostle's Blessing and Shadow Rift if they play it. I'm not going to Mutagenic Growth here to try to trade, since they have red mana up and they could easily Lightning Bolt in response. Alright, let that turn into a 2/2. Next turn, they're going to be the one that has to make the first move, because I'm probably going to leave back a 2/2 to trade with this, which is enough to kill it. Flame Slash, targeting that. Okay. Mutagenic's not enough to save it. Hunger of the Halpack. Alright, that's probably going to be good. I'm attacking for 4, and I could do an additional 3 damage right now if I wanted to. And I could put it all on the lifelink creature too. But I don't think I want to start doing that yet. I think I can hold my spells a little bit longer. Let's go ahead and leave back the Young Wolf again. I want to get a morbid trigger by them removing this or chump blocking. And then I can put 3 counters on one of my creatures. I already have, both of these have evasion on the current board, so they're going to have to make a move first. Ponder. Choosing not to shuffle. Let's see what they managed to find. They're going to attack. I'm going to attempt to chump block. And I think this time I'm willing to spend the Mutagenic to try to trade. So let's do it. Now if they try to get me in response, it doesn't really matter. Temur Battle Rage would be a little bit annoying. Anything else would be a pretty good investment. Well, it's Temur Battle Rage, okay. So I'm taking quite a lot of damage here, but I think I can afford to. Boop, and our opponent should be dead. With the extra counters we get from the Hunger of the Howl pack, that leads us to just over lethal, and we win our first match. Alright, well, we got very lucky to our opponent having to mulligan twice and being so short on lands, but we took it down anyway, and we were on to the next match.